welcome you all for the Technical Fest STEM 5.0. On behalf of staff and students of Department of Computer Science and Engineering, I invite two young minds of our institution to handle the recent trends in technology. So the first speaker, Mr. Thirumalai from Final Year IT, will handle the topic of cloud vision, and Mr. Saranraj from Final Year CSE will handle the topic on microbit. Let's have a brief introduction about the first speaker. Mr. Thirumalai, having a basic knowledge in web development and designing, he also attended many workshops and presentation and also having a good programming skills. So I invite Mr. Thirumalai to share your presentation and start the session.
Good morning to everyone present here. Thank you so much, sir, for your motivation introduction about me. It means a lot and giving the opportunity for me to take Technical Fest 5.0. The topic name is that Cloud Vision. I am K. Thirumalai, final year, Department of IT in Arun Engineering College. Before that, we have to know what is cloud computing and why we need cloud computing. Cloud computing is nothing but on-demand availability of computer system resource, especially data storage and computing power without direct active management by the user. It provides data centered for many users over the internet. It is also refers to as interest-based computing resource. We can understand easily splitting the terms individually. Cloud and computing. Cloud is nothing but internet. On internet we can use different types of services like data storage, networking, application and server and so on. So this is cloud. Then computing is a data processing and storing over the internet. So we can combine cloud and computing, then it become cloud computing. Then basically a use of different types of services over the internet by individually or by organization or by computing device over the internet. Let us take some examples like email. We can access our email via the web browser and other emails are stored as well. Then we can use access the email or you can send email by server and other mail ID. We can all use Google Drive for storing lots of data for storing photos and videos. So we use Google Drive. The next example is that Google App. We all are known that Google App is used for different types of applications. We can use different types of online games all are stored in Google App. So we use cloud computing. We have to know about maintenance cost, resource management, load capacity, storage capacity and most of these costs. Next, cloud deployment model. Based on the cloud location, it can be classified into three different categories: public, private and hybrid cloud. The first type is public cloud. It is open source to all and access information via the internet using pay-per-usage method. It is managed and operated by cloud service provider. The whole computing infrastructure is located on the premises of a cloud computing company that offers cloud service. The location remains separated from customer and has no physical control over the infrastructure. Public cloud is where an independent third-party provider such as Amazon Web Service or Microsoft Azure owns the maintenance computer resource that customer can access over the internet. The advantage of public cloud is that easily scalability of data and cost is effective, highly reliable, no geographical restriction and easy to manage. The disadvantage of public cloud is that it is not safest for sensitive data. The another type is that private cloud. In private cloud, the hosting can be expensive for larger business. It offers a high level of security and more anonymous to customize the storage, networking and compute components to suit their IT requirements. In this infrastructure, it is used by surely only one customer. It provides scalability and self-service, which delivers service to multiple organizations, whereas private cloud is dedicated to needs and goals of single organization. The advantage of private cloud is that improved level of security, greater control over the server, and easily customizable by the customer. The disadvantage of the private cloud is that harder to access data from remote location, requires IT expertise. The next type is hybrid cloud. For business seeking the benefits of both private and public cloud deployment model, a hybrid cloud is good option. It is a clouding environment which combines a public and private cloud by allowing data and application to be shared between them. Most of the organization use the combination of private computing resources and public services where some of the services interact with each other. The public cloud can be used to interact with customer while keeping the data secured through private cloud. The main advantage of private cloud is that highly flexible and scalable of data, cost is effective, and enhanced security. The disadvantage is that communication network level may be conflicted as it used in both private and public network. The next type is that the next type is that cloud service models. In cloud service model, the first type is infrastructure as a service. As the name suggests, it direct access to cloud providers, IT infrastructures, that is compute, storage, and networking assets. That may refers to physical or quite often virtual machine and other sources like virtual machine disk image library, firewalls, load balancer, IP addresses, virtual local area network sectors. The IP infrastructure such as servers, computers, routers, switches, storage medium, etc. The common example is that AWS EC2, AWS S3, AWS Elastic Load Balancer, Elastic Block Storage, and Microsoft infrastructure such as Google Compute Engine. The next type is that platform as a service. It simplifies the process of building an application by hiding the complexity of an infrastructure that runs it. As a name suggests, it provides the computing platform which typically includes OS, operating language execution environment, database, web service sectors. The examples are AWS, Elastic Beanstalk, Windows Azure, Heroku, Force.com, Google App Engine, Apache Shadows. Next, we go to Elastic Beanstalk website. Elastic Beanstalk is an easy to use for deploying and scaling web application and service developed with many languages like Java, Net, PHP, Node.js, Python, Ruby, and so on. You can simply upload your code and Elastic Beanstalk automatically handles the development from capacity provisioning, load balancing, auto scaling to application health monitoring. There is no additional charge for Elastic Beanstalk. You can pay for the AWS resource needed to store and run your applications. The next type is that software as a service. It allows user to connect and use cloud-based apps over the internet. You are provided with access application software, often data to an on-demand software. You do not worry about the installation setup and running of the application. The SaaS service providers such as AWS will do that for you. Just you have to pay and use it from client. For example, email, Gmail, Office 365, on which you can connect and manage your email by logging into a browser interface or through an email client like Microsoft Outlook that runs locally. Storage, Dropbox, OneDrive, other apps, Salesforce, Cisco WebEx, Slack, etc. Next, Google Cloud Vision API. It enables developer to understand the content of an image by encapsulating powerful image learning model in an easy way to use REST API. The main purpose of Cloud Vision API is that it is used to communicate with machineries or to create interface to communicate with machinery. The objective of Cloud Vision API is that face recognition, image attribute, landmark detection, logo detection, optical character recognition, label detection, explicit content detection, and web detection. Next, Vision API derives insight from your image in the cloud or at the edge with AutoML Vision or use pre-trained Vision API models to detect emotions, understand text, and more. For example, we have to communicate with artificial intelligence. It detects what type of object or persons or land or text found in the given image and responds to the client. Next, Cloud Vision API workflow. It can occur in 6 stages. The first step is that user upload your image. The second stage is cloud storage. In the cloud storage, the image can be stored. The third process is cloud pub or sub. In third process, the new image notification sent via cloud pub or sub to App Engine. The fourth process is that App Engine. In App Engine, calls machine learning APIs and updates search index. In fifth step, it can classify into two different categories: Vision API and AutoML. In Vision API, detects labels and objects. In AutoML Vision, it detects custom labels and categorized from user image models. In last surface, in sixth stage, user searches for image using keywords and face. Now we go to live demo. In the tried session, you can upload any image. The size of the image is 4 MB and your browser must support JavaScript. You can upload any image. The artificial intelligence categorized into 6 different categories. In the object section, it can recognize 2 different animals found in the image. In the label section, it can classify it into various types: yellow, vertebrate, cartoon, animation, animated cartoon, and so on. In the logo section, land of make-believe logo is appeared. In text section, Tom and Jerry text is present in the first block. In the property section, it can appear in various aspect ratio: 0:18 and 1 and 1:2. And the safe section, all are very unlikely. Next, we have to upload another image. And we upload next image. The Vision API can detect and extract multiple objects in an image with object localization. It identifies multiple objects in an image and provides localized object annotation for each object in the image. It identifies the information about the object, the position of the object, and bounds for the region of the image that contains the object. The object information is written in English only. The cloud translation can translate English labels into any of a number of other languages. In this image, artificial intelligence categorized into 5 different sections. In face section, it can recognize 3 different faces. In face 1 is named as joy and different categories: sorrow, anger, and so on. The phase 1 is very unlikely. The confidence of phase 1 is 78%. And the second phase is also very unlikely. The confidence of second phase is also 93%. In object section, it can classify various types: clothing, luggage and bags, top, cloth, luggage, dress, clothing, and so on. In label section, fun, mouth, people, sitting, social grouping, photograph, and so on. In the property section, it can be classified into different aspect ratio: 0:18, 1 and 1:2. In safe set section, all are very unlikely and likely. I hope you all enjoy this section, and thank you for all, and my special thanks to Dr. Jyotish Kumar sir for giving me the great opportunity. Thank you sir. Thank you for all presents.
Thank you, Thirumalai, for the presentation which you given over the demo that you given really helpful for the students to go for further investigation on the topic of cloud visions actually. Let I
So,
invite the next speaker, Mr. Saran Raj from the final year Department of Computer Science Engineering. And when I want to talk about Saran Raj, he is having a good knowledge in IoT, which we called as an Internet of Things actually. And he is also be the one of the trainer in our team for the developing the pilot projects and developing an IoT projects. And he is also be act as a good trainer in our team, especially for when you are conducting the program for the school students. So let I invite Mr. Saran Raj from final year of Department of Computer Science to take over the session and talk about the topic on your aspect, which what we call as an IoT. Saran Raj, you can share your presentation.
Thank you for the warm welcome, sir. Today's session is about microbit. I am Saranraj from Enlayer CSE department. Objective of a microbit is exercise a creativity and resourcefulness by coming up with the idea for using simple household material. To accommodate the microbit is size and weight in many different ways. Test and iterate using different material and keys in order to create an optimal design to house the microbit and the battery pack. Use design thinking process to our user need. Apply their understanding in a creative way by making a microbit creature. We see about how does it work. Why microbit? Microbit projects. What is microbit? The BBC Microbit is an pocket-sized computer that introduces you to how software and hardware works together. It has an LED light display, buttons, sensors, and many input and output features that you can program and physically interact with. Latest Microbit adds sound sensing and playback capabilities. The features on the front. If you see buttons, A and B are buttons. It is an LED, 5 cross LED in 25 LEDs. And pin GPIO 012R pin GPIO. It's an touch sensor. It's newly added. It is an microphone LED. We see about buttons. Buttons are very common in device. Your microbit has 2 buttons. You can program and reset a button. 2. LED displays light sensor. LED. An LED or light emitter diode is an output device that gives off light. Your microbit has a display of 25 LEDs for to program. Light sensor. A light sensor is an input device that measures light levels. Your microbit uses the LEDs to sense the levels of light and lets you program your microbit. 3. Pin GPIO. On the button edge of your microbit are 25 gold strips called pins. The pins allow you to really get creative. You can create a circuit, connect external things like buzzers and motors and make your own fun projects. 4. 3-volt power. You can power external LEDs, other electronic using the 3-volt power pin like a motors, headphone jacks like that. 5. Pin ground. The ground pin is the ground or earth pin. It is used to complete the electric circuit when you connect headphones, LEDs or external switches to your microbit. Touch microbit as an extra also work as a touch sensor. You can use it as an external button in your programs in addition to the A and B buttons. 7. Microphones LEDs use. You can create a program that reacts to loud and quick sounds and measure noise levels with the new microbits. Built-in microphones. The microphone's LED shows you when the microphone is active measuring sounds level. Just to the left of the LED, you will see a small hole where the sounds goes in. Features on the back side. It's an radio and a Bluetooth antenna series. It's an processor and temperature sensor. It is an compass. 3 is a compass. 4 is an accelerometer. 5 is an pins. And then 6 is an Microsoft socket. It is a micro USB. It's an 7 and 13 are single right pin. It is an 15 is an red and reset button. 9 is an battery socket. 10 is an USB interface chip. 11 is an speaker. 12 is a microphone. 14 is an LED, yellow LED. This is first radio and Bluetooth antenna. A microbit can communicate with the other microbits by radio and with other device using Bluetooth. 2. Processor and temperature sensor. The microbit processor is a brain, fetching, decoding and carrying out your instruction. It also contains a temperature sensor so you can measure how warm or cold your environment is. Compass. Find a magnetic north or measure the strength of a magnetic field using the microbit compass. It can measure a magnetic field in the dimensions, so you can use this for science experiment or for making a simple door or windows alarm. 4. Accelerometer. The microbit is an accelerometer measures force in 3 dimensions, including gravity, so your project can tell which way up your microbit is. You can use it for a science experiment and check inputs to games or make simple alarm and alert you when someone moves your pins. Connect your microbit to make a headphone, simple switches and electronic sense, touch and more. The pin can power simple accessories like a colorful lights, motors and robots. It's micro USB socket. Download program to your microbit from a computer and power it using a USB interface. 7. Single red LED. The single LED on the back of the original microbit flashes when you downloading a program to it and light it show it's beginner powered from the USB socket. Reset button. Reset your microbit program with the reset button. 9. Battery socket. Instead of powering your microbit from using USB socket, you can unplug it from your computer and use it battery pack instead. This is really useful if you want to take your microbit outside, wear it or play a game with it. It can run for a long time using just 2 AAA batteries. 10. USB interface chip. The interface chip is used for flashing a new code to microbit, sending and receiving serial data to and from your computer by USB. 11. Speaker. It's a new feature. New microbit with a sound as a built-in speaker, so you even more easily add music and the new sound to your project. Microphone. Yeah, the new microbit microphones and indicate LED are fixed to the back of the board. The LED lights up when it's monitoring sound level and is visible as a microphone icon on the front of the board. The front also has a small hole to allow sound to enter the microphones. 13. Red power LED. The red LED on the back of the new microbit, it shows when your microbit has a power either from a batteries or USB cables. 14. Yellow USB LED. On the new microbit, a yellow LED light flashes when your computer is communicating with the microbits over USB. For example, when you flash a program file. How does it work? Let's go and check on microbit website. Go to browser and search for make code microbit. You can see this web page. Make a new project, name it basics. If you see this page, we can code 2 ways using blocks, and then there are 2 languages, Python and JavaScript. Which language you like, you can code it. We can see the basics in blocks. We can see that basics, you can show numbers. If you can the number, give what you want. I can give 5, can play, shows. We can use a LED, we can make. We can design LED should on and off. See this. You see this, and then we can use an icons, built-in icons. See this. We can use the strings also. How to input to the microbit VC. I already created one simple coding. I can explain it now. You see this and go to input. You see this on button, on shake, on pin, so like that. On when we press a button A, you see this, when we press on a button A, it shows the string as A. When we press the button B, shows the string is B. When we press both A plus B, it shows A plus B. When we shake, when the board is up, it shows this arrow. When we shows down, it shows this arrow. We can, the pin 0 is first, it can show 0. Pin 1 is first pressed, it shows 1. Pin 2 is pressed, it shows 2. We see it. If I press A, it shows A. If I press B, it shows B. If I can press both A plus B, it shows A plus B. If I press pin 0, it's 0. If I press 2, it shows 2. If I can shake it, it shows umbrella. If I can down, it shows arrow down. If it's up, it shows up. We can make one simple project. It's called a step counter, and we do it. Create a variable name as step counter. You see these 3 blocks are created. In the start, we can use step set counter as 0. And then if the hands are shake, we are moving. It means we are one step moved. So we can use on shake this variable. If there is move shake, we can increase the value of step counter. Go to the variable, change step counter by 1, and then we can show how many steps we want. So we can go to the input, basics, show numbers. Show numbers, we want to display the step counter. Go to the variables and drag it and drop. Okay. Let's run the program. If I shake, one step is moved. Another shake, 2 is moved. 3. You can see this. We can shake and move. The step will be increased on the microbit. You can explore more project on the microbit. You can see this and explore it on your time. And we did a project on smart dustbin. You can see this. Thank you.
Thank you, Saran Raj, for your valuable presentation. The demo that we showed on related to the smart dustbin, which we developed while we taking a session for the school students. So I think that is a little bit of an innovative startup. So let we all make it to be join in the next session of STEM 6.0, which is on the end of this particular month. So this is an opportunity for the students as well as for the faculty to enroll by yourself to make an idea whatever you are having with your hands, make it to be friend forth to the students, so that we will share the knowledge and enrich our ideas actually. So thank all for your presence on this particular STEM 5.0. Thank you all.